Five. Let's go ahead and get started. First, I want to talk about the day yesterday. It was a great day of trading yesterday. Mondays are so busy for me. I had to do a lot of the trades from my mobile aside from my live trader, but I wanted to kind of talk about how the day went and how the overall read played out, right? And so if you look here, let's go ahead and okay, so we have it on the regular trading hour. So let's find. Let's find where we opened yesterday. So Friday, Wednesday. Oh, we're on the 1 hour. I'm like, what is going on? A little out of whack, guys. Let me go to the 2 minute. Let's say that doesn't even look right. All right. So we have Monday. Market open somewhere in here. Yeah, right there. So on the market open, guys, I always leave these lines for people. So we did not trade this in the beginning. I didn't even trade this dump. I was actually telling people in the room I didn't trust that dump was going to actually collapse. The overall sentiment yesterday from the insight that I put out was that we might be a little more on the bullish side. I want to clarify, when we say that it's more on the bullish side, it doesn't mean that it's just we're going to the moon, right? On the put call ratios that we put out, it just means that we may see more uptrend than we see downtrend. And that played out yesterday, right? So you can see we were super patient. We did get our long call. I told everybody I don't like the long call unless we pass this line here, right? This is a nice little trend line that we were looking for. So right around here on this candle right there is when I actually entered a call on my own account. The reason why I did it is because we had our fall down, we had our long call came through, we had our pump up, our retest of support with a nice volume candle, right? And that one played out really well. So I think I trailed mine up towards this 200, so it ended up stopping me out somewhere in there. Now, the put call was probably one of the easiest calls, guys. If you did not make this put, if you're not watching it, you're not watching it, right? But it does not get more textbook than this. So just from an overall standpoint, right, you have your, we can call it a triple top or even a head and shoulder, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. But, this is textbook, guys. We talk about this in the room all the time. So you have your pattern here. It breaks down. Now, remember what we always say, you don't want to trade the break. You want to wait for the neckline retest, right? Neckline retested. We have a volume candle of breaking down, and then it continued to do the same, right? To break down there. And you can see we actually took it on the live trader. I hit that mark actually perfect. Sorry about that. I'm expecting a call here shortly. So I hit that mark actually perfect. Now the downside is it did actually hit our take profit and kick us out before the actual fall. It happens, right? But as far as from a TA standpoint, I mean, we nailed that, right? We called that from the morning that we would reject there. The upper band was around here, 445 something, but I had an anticipation that we weren't even going to make that, and so that played out perfect, right? So this was just literally a textbook put that should have been taken on the SPY. Now, where do we go from here? You can see we're sitting here about on the pre, and you can see right there we have support that's held, right? So if you come through here, we do have our support level, and it's creating a higher low so far. We have a little bit of bullish divergence, popping through here. So we'll see where that wants to go, right? Now, when we flip over here, as far as the put to call ratio, the overall sentiment seems to be a little more put, but it's not really heavy, right? It's only 0.09 more on the put side, so it could shift, right? So watch your patterns. As far as our upper and lower, bands, I mean, I put out this, in the mornings, and so. First level resistance we have around 444.90, and first level supports around 442.48. So that's kind of the range that you're going to want to watch if you're trading the SPY. Would be where I'd go. So thoughts on SPY? It's funny, we were actually covering SPY Epic, and so that's kind of where we're at with the SPY. Now let's just double check a couple things, guys. Let's go to the 1 hour. So one of the key things on the 1 hour, right, is, we do have this kind lower high right here, right? We did break down here. So it's kind of at a pivotal spot. I still like 443.92 is kind of my mark. If we're below that, I'm waiting for push north and then I'm riding it south. If we break back above it, right, then I'm okay with taking calls because we'll likely work our way back to 447. I'm playing off of this heavy resistance here, so that's the key, right? If we end up acting as resistance again, it's going to do the same thing like it did here, and bam, we're going to get a nice collapse. Whereas if we pump above it, then we're going to have that move north. Now, as far as the EMA, SMA, you can see we're about to get a death cross here on the 1 hour. It really needs this double bottom. If this double bottom can play out and push us back above these EMA, SMA, then I might shift more bullish. But for now, the overall market sentiment is starting to shift a little more bearish. So just be really careful on your calls. It doesn't mean you can't take calls, guys. I get this all the time. We scalp in the room. What goes up goes down. What goes down goes up. What I mean is just wait for your point to hit right before you actually take that. So let's jump into. I'm gonna do the live trader portion of it last this time. I'm trying to shift everything up there. So I'm going to jump into the dollar and then we'll jump into any requests. So if you have any requests, just put them out there, please. So the dollar is collapsing down a little bit like we had talked about yesterday. We are holding support on the 200. So that one could be... that could be a very pivotal spot right there, right? Because if we do hold support on this and it does pump up north past this 21 SMA, then we're back to bullish. But if we do lose this support on the 200 on the 1 hour, right, then down we go. And if we go down on that, we're going up in the market. So the VIX has a nice little inverse head and shoulder, which could be interesting. And you can see we actually have a bullish gap fill called on the VIX here. So for those who don't know that the VIX goes up, market goes down. So not a lot of certainty out there, right? And so that's why we scalp out there. Some stuff saying we're going down. There's some stuff saying we're going up, right? For the time being, market sentiment is down. We do have the FOMC interest rate decision and stuff coming out this week, so it's not expected to change. But if they do change that, it's going to be pretty wild. So let me take a look. IFBC. I'll take this one over the TiVo here. IFBC. I'm assuming this is the one that you're talking about. I have no idea about this. I'm not going to pretend to know. So I'm just going to give you a couple quick looks. Not a lot of volume, so it makes it look a little funny. But let's go to the daily. What I'm trying to look, you can obviously see your near support here. Some just insane pumps that it's had along the way. For me, the volume is just terrible, to be honest. But the one thing I will say about it is you are starting to get some bullish divergence where it's pumping up on the RSI, and we're staying pretty even on the price action. You can see along the line here. Now, I'm just talking TA, right? I don't know the news or the economics of this, but from looking at this before, right, you had your pull down, you kind of consolidated, and then you had a pop, right? So it may be doing a similar setup, right? And so you can see if you're looking at about right there, you're about right here. So you might get a little bit of a pop coming up. We do have divergence coming through, so our indicator has this U and a long, so it called a little bit of a long here, which played out a little bit on a scalp, called the short, and then we're in a long right now. But there is a little double top. This one's tricky because there's just not a lot of volume, but there's definitely support zone here, right? So if you're looking to buy it, it's not gonna get much better. It might drop down to 0.002, something like that. So NVIDIA, link in bio. What's up, man? I hope you're making bank on NVIDIA. I've been pretty close. On it each day. Let's see. NVIDIA. That's awesome, man. So I'm just looking at the 1 hour. You can see back here we talked about NVIDIA kind of losing steam. It did that, had its little head and shoulder break. The pivotal spot's still that 443. You can see I have that on the chart there, and we're below it now, right? So it's hanging out below it. If you want to take a put on NVIDIA, I would wait, and I would suggest to wait to see if it pumps back up. The thing I would caution, I would not enter a put right away on NVIDIA because you are above the 21, and we did flip blue, so it's actually more of a call setup. But and you have plenty of gap before the 200. I mean, just like $15, right? So I would not take a call though unless I get above 443, but I would not take a put unless I reject off of 443, if that makes sense. Because the overall sentiment, right? Our divergence hunter is saying take a long. We're above the 21 saying take a long or a call. And then this blue line right here tells you that we're shifting the sentiment into a call. We have plenty of room in there so a lot of stuff showing that it's setting up for a call. Let me look at the harmonics. Harmonics still has us in a short on the 1 hour. Let's go to a lower time frame, see if it's starting to shift. So it did shift to the long. It did catch this long. Man, look at that. Caught the short and caught the long. The one thing I will say that kind of stands out is it's a little ugly looking, right? But you do have the inverse head and shoulder right here, right? I mean, you kind of got an ugly looking shoulder here. So if I'm going to mark this one before I take a call, I'm going to take the neckline like this. I'm a rocket right there. And you can see the 15 minute on the 200s right there. So really 443.40, if you can get it, above that range, you might be able to take a nice little call scalp on the lower time frame. So let me look and see though. If it can't break that neckline, I mean, it did create a higher low right here, and it's a pretty bullish candle on this fall that I had here yesterday. So yeah, I think a true breakout for NVIDIA, it really has to cross this trend line right here. So around 448.50. If it can't break that and it rejects again, it's just going to come all the way back down to here. So, but we're right in the middle of the road. But let's check the gap fill sniper. It's only like 3% difference, so it could go either way. There's some gaps to fill up here on the upper side, but there's also a gap down here on the lower side. We are blue on the top, which means that we're still, the sentiment's still potentially up. So hope that helps you out. I don't see any other ones, so I'm gonna jump into my setup for my ATA or my live trader. So again, this is the put that I took. We did have a call set to take it off of here. I'm still likely okay with that. So the support actually is 442.48. We could probably bump that up just a little bit, so I'm just going to delete these alerts. You should always delete your alerts each day anyways, unless you're in an open trade. If you're in an open trade, you leave it, but if you're not, you want to delete it because you gotta switch your contract days anyways. All right, so we're going to switch the top one, which is the call. We know 442.40 was roughly the support area. I'm gonna be a little more aggressive-ish on it. We'll put 442.60. We'll see if we can get a bounce off that, just a little bit above it. Guys, I actually am gonna have to go. I apologize. My internet has been cutting in and out. If you're in the room, I'll do this setting as soon as I get done. But my technician just showed up, so I think he's gonna kill my internet. I apologize, guys. I told him to come after 9:15, but. I'm going to end this short and abrupt. I apologize. At least we got the TA out there. I'll finish this settings in the room here in about 30 minutes. I appreciate it.